We left from Sydney and headed to Canangra Boyd National Park, where we're going to begin our trip. Once in the park, we ventured down the Cowmung River Fire Trail to check out the camping down by Tuglow Creek. Then we head up out of the park to tackle some of the tough stuff Janolan State Forest offers. I'm travelling with Glenn Wilson from All Terrain Campers. Glenn's an absolute off-road nut, and he's proud of the fact that his trailers will go virtually everywhere, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, Glenn's got a good reason to be proud of his campers. He builds everyone himself, and he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for years, and he makes them tough as. We'll find out how tough, eh? Along with him is Mick and Eileen, a couple of his customers who love their all-terrains, and they love travelling too. That's all they do, all the time. They're great at it too. We've got Tony and Karen and their kids, and we're out to have some fun.
We first got into camper trailering. We headed to a hotel and booked in and had to get 2 rooms, and we thought, well, you know, there's got to be a better way around that, so we did the caravan and leisure pleasure shows and looked at all different sorts and ended up with the all-terrain. That's the best thing we ever did. Camper trailer lifestyle, we can go anywhere. You know, we don't have to be at a hotel, like at a caravan park or things like that. We can just go everywhere. Yeah, anywhere and everywhere.
We spent a lot of time in a dome tent, and then we had an old camper trailer. I don't know what brand it was, but it looked like an old Dutch hat when you set it up. It was the ugliest thing you ever saw in your life. And we moved on to another trailer, and yeah, went to the show looking for some ideas to how to build a kitchen for the back of it, and drove in and saw the all-terrain. Thought, yep, I want one of them. And we ended up with it.
We did get the 4-wheel drive one so that we can go out into the bush if we wish. I suppose that's a good thing about Australia. Got a lot of national parks out there and stuff that you can go out and, you know, kids can play and see Australia basically.
And I guess with a camper trailer as well, it's so easy with everything's already packed in there. We literally have to put food in the fridge, beer in the fridge, hook up and we're gone. So it's just easy.
Yeah, lots of beer though, hey, with Mick along. Canangra Boyd is a national park in New South Wales, about 100 kilometres west of Sydney. It lies just to the southwest of the Blue Mountains National Park. I think it's kind of part of that actually, and it's part of the Greater Blue Mountains Area World Heritage Site too. I don't know what that means in technical terms, but I tell you, as far as a place to go is, it's fantastic. Lots of good Aussie bush and fantastic scenery. Canangra Boyd is one of those getaways that can be mixed and matched to suit anyone who loves a dirty road trip. There's tough stuff, there's easy stuff, there's lots of walking, plenty of camping, everything you want really. For track conditions, you can always ring the National Parks and Wildlife Service at Oberon on 02 633 61972. Don't order any pizzas, they don't like that. Don't miss the Lookout Walk, which is about a 10-minute route from the car park, and it overlooks the gorges of Canangra Creek and beyond to the high tops of Mount Cloudmaker and the Blue Mountains Escarpment. It's a bit of a drop down here, and only recently a bloke threw his wheelchair-bound girlfriend off the edge. Struth almighty. Darling, you want to come on a trip with me? I'll just go and borrow Chuka's wheelbarrow.
Yeah, we've got the Cowmung River here, and this is another river. This isn't the Cowmung, it's a different river.
Pretty soon we're heading down the Cowmung Fire Trail, and that's when the rain started too. The Cowmung Trail is steep in places, but it's usually reasonably well maintained. But once we get into the tough hill climb stuff, well, by crikey, doesn't it get wet and slippery around here. Clay-based soils and a ton of camper on the back makes a big difference, even to a powerful truck like Glenn's 4.2. 4.2? Whoa, it's a 4.8, better get it right. Nothing like petrol power to get up a hill, but it ain't going up the hill. Come on, Gleno, bit more oomph.
Yeah, well, this is on at the moment, but you can see as I slid back, the trailer was in the ruts and the trailer stayed nice and straight as well. I'll just come back a little bit now if I can. I'll have a go at a bit more speed at it, see if I can get over. That's a good trick, I never knew that one. I mean, you got all 4 wheels locked up, the truck's sliding backward, and the trailer's staying straight because you had the foresight to stick it in the ruts. That's a beauty, mate.
A bit of a trick here, whenever you've got a trailer or a camper trailer on the back of a 4-wheel drive and you're heading up a slope like this, unlike most times where you just pick the best route, with a camper trailer you want to stick to the ruts all the time. But reason for that is that if you get halfway up and start sliding backwards, the trailer's wheels will already be in the ruts and the trailer will go straight back down the hill instead of fishtailing off to one side and causing a massive cock-up. We don't want that, do we? Look at old Red, she just hammers in this sort of stuff. That big Chevy engine loves the work, really does.
Hey guys, this is super slippery. We might, we'll work at it. Go calls, man, what do you want to do? Try to come back then, and I'm going to end up all sorts, so I just need to have someone pull my winch out for me.
I'll do the winching. I'll leave this truck sitting here, and this is just going to get slipperier and slipperier for you guys back there, so we'll see how we go. We'll just try and clear it because you're going to need heaps of momentum, and I'd say we'll be turning it round.
See how far I slip back.
When you're winching with a camper trailer on the back, you've suddenly got to realise that instead of 2.5 tonnes on the cable, you've probably got 3.5 or more. Add in the kids and the clothes and the food and the beer and everything else, nearly 4 tonnes hanging off the cable. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, mate. So I get up this part then.
Hey, dog, get the dog out of the road. Right. Recoveries are tricky enough as it is. When you add a camper trailer, it adds a whole new element of surprise.
You can see where I got stuck here, just here. I thought the tyres had no traction and weren't digging through the mud, but if you look in the ruts, it's actually full of bark and leaves, and I couldn't get through the bark and the leaves to get traction. Once I winched past that bark and leaf section, just drove all the rest of the way, no problems at all.
Mick likes the idea of my little waterproof stopper on the winch cable plug. I just use tape. Every time I put a plug on, I keep losing it. In go the lockers and off we go. Now I haven't got the front locked up on Red. I did occasionally, but it still hasn't got power steering. I probably won't even fit power steering at this stage. Manual steering, of course, means you need to keep the front axle unlocked, so you've got a bit of steering. But with all that power, who needs traction? All right! Gee, that was exciting. I don't know how you're going, Tim, but I'm pretty excited. That was good. She made it.
It should be interesting. I think it'll be a little bit greasy. I think it'll handle it well, as long as I can get it to stay straight behind the car. So I'm just going to go around and back up, get a straight run on it, get both my lockers locked in, and we'll give it a run, see how we go.
Mick's Toyota's got the factory lockers back in front, and I was pretty impressed with the way they operate. So's he, and he should know. He's done enough of this stuff. Little bit of momentum gets him up, no problems at all. And did you see the way the camper trailer jumped around a fair bit, but it didn't leave the ruts and it didn't leave the track. That's all you need, just to know it's there behind you when you get to the top.
It's bouncy chookins.
Yeah!
But it's all good.
Okay, all your pencils and textures got lids on.
Yep.
Lockie, put your blanket down. Lockie's prepared, he's got his pillow in his head.
The kids love this off-roading, don't they? Tony and Karen's Patrol's got a front diff locker, and of course it's got the Nissan rear diff, so it is quite an awesome vehicle on these trips. And don't the kids love it, eh? A little bit of bouncing around. Probably haven't twigged to how dangerous this might be in some situations. But Tony's in the game, he knows what he's doing, and they just pull on through, no problems at all. Way to go! You can almost hear the cheering from the car.
I didn't even put the diff. I forgot the diff lock. I forgot the diff lock.
That was fun. Can I do it again?
That was nasty, Glenn.
Mate, that was real nasty.
I'll tell you what, these guys did really well.
Mate, momentum is king,
Oh.
and that's what it shows, you know,
Yeah.
with the trailer and these sort of conditions.
Momentum.
Mate, you can have all your diff locks, and we've all got diff locks here,
Yep,
and we've all got mud terrain tyres, except for Tony's running the all-terrains.
yep.
And with that extra momentum, mate, he just blitzed that hill.
Well, Tony didn't even have his diff lock on, he said.
Oh, didn't he?
No, his front diff
So
lock, he forgot to switch it on. But he had the limited slip up the rear.
That's right. Well, there you go, mate. Momentum is king, you know?
And have you seen the kids in the car?
No, I didn't.
Loving it. Smiling. Dad's beating the big one. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Lockie wants to do it again.
No, not doing it again.
This is Dingo Dell. Funny, it's raining and it's cold. It's been like that every time I've been here. It's also a beautiful place. And it hasn't changed. And by that I mean that the campground has still got these ridiculous chains and bollards all the way around, which means there's nowhere for camper trailers to park except on the track. Now, how ridiculous is that? What kind of a lesson in common sense is that? Oh, national parks, they should be lined up and shot for this sort of stuff. It is an Australian's right to bring his kids camping. Most Australian families use camper trailers and caravans, things like that. You can get them in here, you've got nowhere to put it. Now there's thousands of acres of bush around here and they've fenced off a 16 perch house block. Oh, come on, that's just sad, guys. Where are you? We're gonna have a good time anyway. Dingo Dell's a walk-in campsite beside the Cowmung River, and vehicle camping is possible here, of course. You just need to take up the track.
I can see this wire rope being a booby trap in the middle of the night.
Now, there's two ways of doing the ladder.
Yes.
There's the right way and the way the cameraman does it.
That's right.
Just as we set up camp, it starts raining. You need a National Parks and Wildlife Service pass to visit Canangra Boyd, of course. It's available from any of the NPWS offices and from a coin-operated machine at the start of the Canangra Road. There you go, see, you get to pay for all these things twice. The last reliable fuel and supplies are at Mount Victoria on the Great Western Highway. You'll need fuel for a distance of about 280 kilometres, I guess, to do the trip we're doing. And there's no other supplies until Mittagong or Taralga, unless you detour via Oberon, of course.
It's all right, Roothy, the tarp's up, mate. You can come out now. Thanks. Come on, blisters.
Don't hassle the cook, all right? Rule number one, do not hassle the cook. After a day like that, I think it took the kids about 5 minutes to fall asleep. You know, they weren't out of the truck that much. They just had so much fun in it. It wasn't funny. They're lovely kids too. You guys are great. Hey, Rooster, wake up! Mick's just pointed out why I'm losing brake fluid. Should have picked this up, but you know, I'm about as sharp as a bowling ball. Look at this, it's touching. The bonnet's touching the top of the cap, which is deforming it, leaking the brake fluid. Time for a bush mechanic fix. You sure that's how you do it in Ireland, Mick?
That's the only way.
Only way? Oh, that's the beauty thing of doing your own paintwork. You don't have to worry about what it looks like. Try it now.
Well, at least it won't charge.
There we go.
Moses. Looks ugly. Yeah. Look at that. Horrible. I was thinking about, you know, people do body lifts. I thought I'd just do 50 mil on the hinges. When we climbed out of Dingo Dell the next morning, it was wet and it was slippery again, but it was a whole lot of fun. From Dingo over to Janolan means backtracking up some of these steep climbs, but by crikey, it's good value, especially after a night of rain. The Janolan State Forest covers an area of about 9,700 hectares. And it's only a hop, skip and a jump away from the Canangra Boyd National Park because, of course, they share a border. Some pretty tough driving over this end, though. over the place here, but we've got a big hill to go straight down and in wet conditions. Look at the way that suspension's working. It's really getting there, this Series 2000. I've just about got it sussed. Big hill, Glenn.
It is big hill. It is big hill.
It's steep, and you know a lot of people don't appreciate. You get all that comfort with a camper trailer, but at a price. We're towing a ton, aren't we?
Mate, sometimes more than a tonne.
Yeah. Okay. Depending on what people are carrying,
That's
I guess.
how many boxes of beer you've got inside.
Well, this is true. Okay. All right. So I'm carrying more than a tonne. Any tips for this sort of a descent?
When you're doing things like this, John, you really want to look out for where you're going because it's a big, long, steep hill. It is a bit impractical to walk it.
Not impractical. We're just not fit enough.
Yeah,
Come
well,
on,
yeah,
be
well, okay,
honest.
you know. So you've really got to be watching over your bonnet, not 5 metres in front of you, 30 metres in front of you.
Yeah.
And once you're on a line with the trailer, you're committed. You can't go, no, I'm going to turn right and take another line because your trailer's going to want to keep going straight.
I feel like you're just going straight over the edge of the world. Not bad articulation for a leaf-sprung vehicle. And I need it here too. Traction's the name of the game when you're going downhill, just like uphill. These trailers are pretty good. They just follow you. They're great. Nobody else would follow me down this hill, I can tell you. It's crazy. There's not a great deal of difference doing a big descent with a camper trailer, other than the fact that you've got a bit of extra weight on the back. Now this is self-braking weight, which is not bad at all. That's a bit of rear locker, just to pull me straight there. Still does the same thing, which is good. Steering wise, well, my steering isn't power steering. I'm not really noticing any difference going down hills. Going up hills it actually got lighter. I suppose that's not a bad thing. Yes! All three of us took slightly different tracks. Some of that was to make it look good for the camera. Good on ya, Mick. Lovely. And some of that was to try and avoid the nasty spots, because there was plenty of them. But you know what? The nastier things got, the more the kids smiled. They're just little four-wheel drivers waiting to grow up, aren't they?
Slowly there, mate, slowly. Stop there, real slow, real slow, real slow, Charlie's about to drop in, real slow.
It had a lot of nasty bits in it, this track, but a little bit of common sense and a whole lot of safety, and we did it quite easily. I won't even talk about the brakes and how hot they got. There's plenty of river crossings in the Janolan State Forest, and when you're pulling a camper trailer, they're not that much different to just doing it in your truck, are they? I mean, you don't have to worry about diff housings and low dragging points, and you certainly don't have to worry about the strength with these all-terrain campers. So really, it's just the same old thing. Find the best route, find the right gear, get into it. In our case, second gear, low range, and we didn't have to worry about hopping out into -5 degree water with ice chunks floating in it, because, to be honest, it wasn't that deep. Despite all the rain, the country's still catching up on the drought out there, isn't it? The old red truck with its Mickey T's had no problems at all in the water. That bit of body lift helps, that's for sure. As much as anything, I'm still waiting to see what happens when the big petrol motor gets drowned. Woo, that could be ugly.
So, John, we've just pulled up at the creek now.
Mate, it is a little bit,
a hairy sort of creek crossing. You've got to sort of drive in and then around, and you can't really see the exit at this point. But I might just jump out and just have a quick
look and see what the bottom's like. See how deep we are here, and that'll give us an indication of how deep it's going to be further down.
Traditionally, this is the deepest crossing around here,
Yeah.
and it's the longest, obviously the longest one as well, because you are driving down the length of the creek rather than straight across it.
I'm just wondering if I should bar up for it. Well, not me saying that, but the truck, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't that a man's ear?
So it's chest height then, is it?
Oh, that's it, yes.
This is going to be a real adventure, you know, mate. Mostly because we don't know how deep it is, do we? We haven't got a clue. Yeah, righto, Glenn. I want to see you and your budgie smugglers in for a swim, mate. It's about -8. There's no real tricks to pulling a camper trailer through a creek crossing other than the need to make sure you've always got a bit of momentum, because of course if you stop for some reason you've got to get a whole extra ton moving again. So with the guys in second gear low range, off we go, straight through the creek and straight out. You know, these trailers are handling it all so easily at this point it's not funny. I'm starting to wonder if we can actually find something tough enough to stop them. My red truck burbles like you wouldn't believe coming through the water. Oh, it's lovely, like a big ski boat going somewhere. Wow, what an awesome day of four-wheel driving. We've done some insane things today with these trailers, and now we're going to do one more insane thing because the kids have just been great. These are fantastic kids, and so I'm going to cook something very special for you guys. It's called artery hardeners. At least that's what my wife calls it, because she won't let me cook it for myself. Righto, here we go. It's dead simple. All we've got is some flour, plain or self-rousing, you know, that stuff doesn't really matter, does it? Off we go. Good old self-arousing flour. Sounds fascinating, doesn't it? And then we'll add a little bit of milk. Now, don't ask me about proportions. I've never been good at proportions. Splash it in. That's the way. Now, when you start to mix this up, you can see it sort of stiffens up a bit. So we need something else to liquefy it. Always works well for me. So we'll try it here too for the batter. There we go. In other words, it's a pretty simple beer batter. Now you don't want it the consistency of glue. You want to take it down a couple of steps. You want it nice and runny, sort of like a pancake batter. Okay, I'll just beat this up a bit more. Well, Glenn, you know your nice clean kitchen?
Yeah.
I've pretty much managed to put little bits of batter all over it.
Thank you.
No worries, mate. You know what? I reckon I'd eat these every day if I could get away with it. But the other love of my life is fitting behind the steering wheel of the truck. You wouldn't be able to do that after a while. And there's the batter. I'll just leave that to sit up there for a minute. I've got some Snickers bars here. You can use almost anything. I like Snickers, bit of a fave. Now I'm just going to chop these up, probably, boy are they hard. Now they haven't been in the fridge, which is a good thing because they probably would have warmed up a bit. It's that cold. The fridge in one of the campers has been running for 4 days with the Anderson plug disconnected. Here we go. Take the Snickers bar like that. Give it a good old dip. There we go. It's hard not to do this and make a mess, but there you go. There we go. Whoa! Yes. Sounds just like the chip shop, doesn't it, really? Now, they don't take very long. You just want to get them to a nice sort of a golden look, and then you're just about there. I'll whip some of those out now. Off goes the oil. And here we go. Whoops. This is something very special. Artery hardeners. Take it over there to the fire. Okay, don't get too far away from that fire. You'll freeze up more than that ice cream.
I'll have to have a talk with Trish.
Is that good?
That's my ideas.
Okay, well that's me for the night. I think that's all, eh? Just clean up after the camera crew here. Won't take long.
Alright, we're all ready. We might get Mick to lead the way today. He's a bit more familiar with the tracks we're going to go up and have a look at today, so if he can lead out, and we'll all jump in behind him. Okay, convict Mick, lead the way.
The new Toyota has got quite a lot of articulation, and you can see that the rear end works. Having the front and rear lockers fitted was the best thing Mick could have done, of course, because you don't need that much articulation. Once you've got the lockers, you can still get there. With all that articulation to play with, you need that off-road hitch. This is one situation where an off-road hitch really is the best thing you can have. One good thing about these hitches is you know no matter what you do, no matter what you hit, most of your trailer's still going to be on the back of that hitch. It goes without saying that the height of your tow bar and the height of the drawbar of the trailer need to be pretty much the same to level the rig, but neither can be too low in an off-road situation because that's where you lose all your clearance. The all-terrain camper doesn't have that problem. It's got a nice high hitch. It suits modified vehicles with a few extra inches of tyres.
Well, you can try that one over there if you want to.
No, that one looks a little bit up the top ledge. That's no.
It's steep,
I think we'll be sitting
rocky,
there a lot.
lots of gutters. And we've got a ton of trailer behind the truck.
I'm going to walk up.
It's gonna be
I'll meet you
good.
At the top.
Really good, actually. Be good fun.
Oh, I'm so keen to drive up that.
You're going to walk up?
Yeah, I'm going to grab a rope and just hike up there instead. I think.
Yeah, actually,
How are you feeling about this one, Eileen?
Not sure.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one to bring the trailer up, so.
Bring it on.
And that's why we didn't bother changing our underpants today too.
Alright. It feels like Sunday.
Oh, I might lose some hair.
Hey, going to be a struggle, mate.
There's a lot of talk about now about getting the winch organised and the straps ready, making sure we've got all our recovery points well charted so we know what's going on in case we have to do it in a big hurry. And of course a hurry is what you can expect when you've got a camper trailer on the back, because if you get to the top and start sliding backwards, there's a fair chance you'll keep on going. Things can get very exciting then.
You don't want to be too far over because you can see the scar marks already from other vehicles.
Big tree here. I reckon we'll winch extension off this.
Okay, you want to put the winch extension straight out now and have it ready to go?
Yeah.
I'll go and grab it all.
Glenn,
All right,
in
mate.
the top box of my...
What I like is if you get this far, this last little bit here's the full-on. Whoa! Whoops! I nearly fell over just looking at it.
One other thing about when you are serious four-wheel driving is to have your recovery gear, and you've got to have all your gear, and we've got it all here, but it's buried. If we're in an emergency situation, you need to be able to access it very, very quickly.
What are you going to do for this hill, mate?
18. 18. Why? Because they want to be fairly soft, and I don't want to go much lower than that because there's a couple of rim rippers up there too, so 18 will do, mate. And to be honest, I reckon I get the truck up here with the lockers and this low range, no dramas. But with a ton of trailer on the back, it just changes the whole picture. There's a bit of extra spice involved in this severe off-roading with the trailer. Quite a lot of extra spice, actually. The worry with it is that with the camper trailer on the back, if it starts to pull itself back sideways, which you could do, then the back wheel's going to drop into that big ditch, which is going to throw the whole truck right up in the air. What happens then? Well, that's one of those very close to God type of moments, you know, when you sit there with a smile on your face and hope like hell they can get that cable out. Should be good.
Stop winching.
Yeah, this tree. He wants to reposition the winch. There's 3 on the way. Here we go. This should be pretty good. That's it. Yep.
There we go again.
Keep going. Keep going.
What I want to do, I'll go back a bit, left hand down, and I'll ping off that tree there.
Yep.
Thanks,
Pull
mate.
her out, mate.
Left hand down a bit, you better lend me the crowbar.
All right, Red.
Yeah, on him.
Oh, you can feel the strain on the winch, but it's doing its job. Oh boy. Might not have driven much of it, but boy, it's exhilarating. And this winch is doing an amazing job. 3.5 tonne up a slope like this. Fantastic. I'm really impressed. Red Truck's doing great. It's all come together on this one. Just got to finish it. We did a straight pull off this. I shouldn't have done that. I should have used a shackle. I really should have doubled it up at least to get it up there. But I thought, I want to try the winch out. It says 9,000 on it. Let's give it a go. So we put 4 tonnes on it on a straight pull. And you know what? It didn't stop. Really quite awesome. Yes! All right! So what have I done to your trailer, Glenn? Must have done
A
something.
little bit of dirt here, but
Is that it?
that's it.
What?
Mate, the trailer
When I
did.
dragged it up this...
Mate, look, you can see it. There it is there, mate. Didn't even deform the steel. That's all it is.
Right, we're going to have to go back and do it again because I need carnage on the trailer. That's awesome, mate. I can't believe it. doubled up. Possibly we should have done that with mine, but I really wanted to test that new winch. This winch was starting to smoke up. It's a 12-tonne winch, but it's pulling about nearly 4 tonne and straight up a hill. So it did all right. Hopefully it'll do the rest. If you're out there and you're in a situation where you've got to winch up a hill or something with a camper trailer on the back, then that's the time when you should be using a snatch block. Unless it looks like a real easy short pull, you're going to put a lot of strain on a winch that really wasn't built to pull that extra tonne or so. And of course the camper trailer is hanging off the back, so it's really full on dead weight. It's not like it's pushing itself or helping at all. You know what? We still got up a slope that would have stopped a whole lot of lesser four-wheel drives, and we did it with these all-terrains on the back. A half to go forward. I don't know how far you'll go. This hitch is insane, mate. It's like, oh, it's just, the worry is going to be this left-hand rear wheel peeling off on the rocky bank there, because it's right on the can opener facet, right? So if you can go forward about 1 metre, and then I'll call you on this back wheel when you're going backwards, so that we keep the back wheel up. If the back wheel goes down, okay? Yep. Go, mate. You've got another worry when you've got a camper trailer in a tight turn on a hill situation, because of course you've got all that weight pulling the back of the vehicle sideways. Well, Glenn's well and truly used to it, and he doesn't need too much help to get around that situation. Beautiful. I'll tell you what, he's got it well tucked, hasn't he? If you can't stuff it up doing that, you can't stuff it up anywhere.
Yeah. I'm on there going, the winch cable's going in, I'm not moving, but that point's coming closer to me. That's not really a good thing.
Mate, you can stick a grater blade on it and go and do roads out west. After watching us, Mick and Eileen reckon the extreme track's just going to be a waste of time because they're going to have to winch it anyway. So they reckon they'll take the second track. It's not quite as steep, but it could be more slippery.
All right, Mick, hold it up there, mate.
What do you reckon, Glenn? Just goes onto the pin.
Just on that pin on the recovery point there, John.
I like that. Trailer with a recovery point. That's too cool. And it ain't for recovering the trailer. Well, we'll just use the winch extension strap and just do a pull.
Yeah, just a toe, mate. Yeah, that's all it is.
Go, you little beauty. Look at that. Oh, yes. Not first recovery of a camper trailer, but yes, this is my first recovery using a camper trailer as a recovery tool. And having seen where this thing will go, I'm not worried about it at all. Tony and Karen got about the same distance up that Mick and Eileen did. Tony gave it a fair bit more oomph down the bottom because he figured the Nissan might not get quite as far and he wanted to prove the point. But he did really well. He got quite a distance, and so all it took was the same little tug, which you can do with these camper trailers, from trailer to truck, and we're on our way again. That just gives us a second chance in case it slips off.
All right, Mick, ready? Off you go.
Tony made that look really easy, actually. I bet the kids were disappointed. Come on, Dad, go the extreme track.
That worked out well, John.
That's good, eh? You didn't need much.
No, it was just
that little bit. Oh, well, good. In a situation like this, the tracks are so tight and the turns are so sharp that you don't get a lot of room to manoeuvre around. We wanted to leave the trailers on as much as we could, and that meant doing all sorts of strange things. But it worked. That's all that matters. We headed northwest towards Capertree into the newly proclaimed Churon National Park. The park is largely undeveloped and it's only accessible to four-wheel drives. The river oak-lined upper reaches of the Churon River run through the park, and the NPWS has established 2 camping areas beside the river. We pulled into Woolshed Flat. It's got a nice table and a fireplace and even a loo. At the end of the day, we'd put up with lots. It had been cold, it had been wet, it had been uncomfortable. But you know what? None of that mattered, because even on the drive home I kept thinking they were just such great people to go travelling with. They really were. For information on driving Janolan State Forest and surrounding areas, contact State Forest Bathurst on 02 6331 2044. The State Forest Central West Forest map will give you an overall view of the trek throughout the region. For further information on exploring the Churon National Park, contact the NPWS at Blackheath on 02 4787 8877. Oh wow, what an adventure we've had. We've been up some incredible slopes, seen some terrific country, done more than one river crossing, and all week it's been absolutely shocking weather. It's been freezing, sleeting and raining and all the rest of it. But it didn't matter, because at the end of each day, this is how comfortable we were. Up high, nice and dry, absolutely wonderful. Well, I'm going to start planning my next trip. I might see you out on the track, eh? Welcome to Roothy's Ruthless Tales. Go on, grab a slice of fair dinkum, Australia. Get your dose of Roothy and put a smile on your dial.